This is what the Sean Diddy Combs trial represents in a nutshell.
But I do not agree. And I do think it's a setback for women in general, in terms of believing women the first time.
There you go. In a nutshell. This is about believing women, or in other words, having women have control over the very lives of men. They're allowed to turn around and make an accusation, and then the man just be thrown to jail. Period. The trial didn't go her way, right? What happened is there was a bunch of trumped up charges of sex trafficking, and there was no evidence to support it. And the jury could see there was no evidence, so they let him go. And that upsets this woman, right? Now she's the professional, and Cheer Denise here, she represents the average woman. And women are upset, right? They're not our class enemy or anything, guys, but they're upset that an innocent man was let go. Anyway, we'll hear from Cheer first.
Okay. Um, the final thing that happened this week, except we're not going to talk about it, was the Diddy trial. That didn't go the way any of us wanted to, but didn't I call it? I knew those jurors were going to let us down. He got
Oh, really? It didn't go the way we wanted? Well, I wanted to see an innocent man go free. So it went the way I wanted it. And see, those jurors, they let us down, man. They were supposed to get this guy.
off on pretty much everything. And he had the gall.
Yeah, yeah. He got off because he was innocent. Cheer. It's that simple. I know you don't want to hear it, but that's the way it is.
Down with that Diddy. You did it. You did it. You did all the things. And I just don't understand how those jurors came to those conclusions. I'm too angry about it to talk about it.
You did it? How would you know he did it? The jurors didn't think so, and they saw the evidence or the lack thereof, right? Now, Cheer Denise, you can see that she's trying to paint this as an elite versus the average guy. When this woman here, this Ray here, admitted what it's really about. It's about women versus men, right? Cheer Denise likes Justin Baldoni. A lot of women do. And that's why they get upset when the judge dismissed his lawsuit. That guy was actually slandered, but the judge dismissed it. And it's because a woman accused a man and he was trying to defend himself, right? Uh, these women like Johnny Depp, and 130 feminist organizations supported Amber Heard. Tell me, was there any feminist organizations supporting but Justin Baldoni? No, they support Blake Lively, right? So there are huge forces out there pushing to strip men of our rights, right? Men do not get this. And before go, this is one of the most important things. Shield for Men has a compilation of Women Go Avoids Jail. And it's not a single case, it's a compilation. And when he says avoids jail, that means the judge lets her go. The justice system worldwide is totally for women and against men. I'll just read you a few of them. Woman 20 who had sex with boy 14, she met online, avoids jail. In other words, they didn't charge her, right? Cheating wife 61 who made false rape act claims against her husband after he refused to do household chores. That's his wife, the one who loves him and forever and ever, right? Oklahoma woman avoids prison, forced kids to eat dog feces. I did a video on that. Yep. So children aren't safe, right? Woman avoids jail after pleading guilty of child neglect. And it goes on like that's only 1 minute in. Now, the point is the justice system is 100% behind women against men, right? So we'll start here for this. So what my point is that for them not to get Diddy means he must have been innocent. There was no evidence to prosecute him. Now, what's this? The CTV News.
Well, this case, what do you make of the verdict? Your reaction?
Thank you for having me. Honestly, I am very surprised at the verdict. As a lawyer, I do understand the charges. I do understand how to apply the law. And I also understand that is a very high bar and a very difficult charge for a layperson to understand. So
See, it's just that the jury don't know what they're doing. They're just a bunch of dumb lay people, right?
I always say what is legal is not always right, and what's right is not always legal. So am I surprised? Yes, but as lawyers, we are also trained to accept the jury's last word, and the jury has spoken, and we stand by that, and we respect their professional opinion, and we thank them for their service. But I personally and professionally do not agree with the verdict. I do see.
She personally doesn't agree with it. Right. I would say this is all personal, not professional.
How they could have reached RICO. I'm very surprised on the dismissal of the the not finding guilty on the sex trafficking instance, because you own.
Not me. Not me. The sex trafficking is bullshit. It's been expanded so that if you simply cab a woman over to your place, you're trafficking her. If you simply supply a woman with transportation, you're trafficking. So it's bullshit. It's expanded term to get the man.
Only needed one instance of force, fraud, or coercion for each alleged victim, and
they only needed one instance of any of the victims to get this guy. So they didn't have one, not one.
The fact that the jurors did not find Sean Combs guilty on that was very surprising for me, because that is, again, you have to have 12 unanimous jurors, and that is the most difficult. But the elements, in my opinion, were there.
The elements are not evidence. Elements is not evidence. There was no evidence to back those claims up. And black men, is this not a black woman who can't wait to get a black man behind bars? I wonder how many black women were cheering on the KKK during the lynchings.
You are a lawyer based in the U.S. How significant is this verdict?
Well, I'll tell you, it's very significant to us guys, because this is a fight against us as a sex. This is a struggle to have women harm us at their words when they feel like it, have total power over our life and death.
It's a very significant verdict culturally. It is a very significant.
Why'd she say culturally? She means sexually.
Verdict in terms of understanding and setting the bar with RICO. The SDNY has a 95% conviction rate, and it is well known in the United States that the feds don't generally bring a case unless they do feel that they can meet the burden of proof and get 12.
Holy snap, 95% rating of getting men. So the fact that Combs got off just proves you how innocent he was of the things they were accusing him of.
Jurors to unanimously agree. That is why it was so surprising to me. But again, when you're looking at these charges and trying to get 12 laypersons, people from various walks of life to agree on
various walks of life. So you can't even say that the jury was rigged, right? You can't say that the whole jury was nothing but black men, right?
The charge of RICO, which is very difficult to understand from a layperson's point of view, and try and apply that with 50 pages of jury instructions. I can understand how that would be very difficult for them to apply, and difficult to apply not only the elements to get to RICO, meaning that you have the commercial and human resources of the business used in furtherance.
This is excuse making. Lawyers dumb down the verbiage for juries all the time. If they could get Combs, they would have, lady.
Of the alleged crime of sex trafficking, but then you have to go down the rabbit hole of the predicates. And we had 8 of those: arson, kidnapping, witness tampering, forced labor. So
Holy shit, they threw everything at him to get him. They really wanted to get him. Forced labor, arson. Hey, maybe you would have gotten Combs if you just stuck with trafficking, period. But they wanted to get him so badly, they threw everything at him. And it looked, I'm so glad because it just shows what terrible people you are to put up every trumped up charge at him to get away from it.
that was very surprising to me. But what it looks like is that the jurors were not able to separate the fact that these women were in a consensual long-term relationship with Combs and could not understand that if you were going back and forth to someone, how that is consent, how that is.
They saw the obvious. They were his girlfriends. They came and went when they felt like it. The traffic charging was charges was bullshit.
Coercion. But when you look at the statutory definition of coercion under under the New York law, the statutory definition is very clear in terms of asking someone and removing their ability to freely leave, whether that's from taking the passport, which happened in Cannes, or attempting to blackmail them or force them to stay through coercion in terms of.
Coercion's another bullshit term to get mad. If it's so clear, they would have gotten him, lady. It's an excuse. Woman just says, well, I wanted to leave, but I felt I couldn't. And then they just charge him with coercion.
Not of threatening to release the freak-off tapes. That to me was very surprising. So that is why I am surprised by the verdict in many instances. But again, I respect what the jurors have come back with and said, but I do not agree. And I do think it's a setback for women in general in terms of.
But we'll end it there where we started. Because that shows you exactly what this woman's about. She is our class enemy, guys. Women are the class enemy of men. From this professional to this laywoman on the street. I bet if you filled up the jury with cheer Denise's, this woman would say, hey, the jury really knew what was going on. They're a very professional jury. They saw there was no evidence and they threw him behind bars anyway. Trust me, this is a fight for the rights, the human rights of the male population.